Most people think financial freedom comes from earning more. It doesn't. It comes from a formula so simple most people ignore it. A formula one of the greatest teachers of success ever known used to change his own life forever. His name was Jim Rohn, and before he became wealthy, he was broke, in debt, and embarrassed to answer the door when a charitable organization asked for a donation he couldn't afford. That moment changed everything, because that was the day he learned the truth. It's not what you earn that makes you free. It's what you keep. And what you keep depends on one simple rule, the 70-30 rule. Most people spend everything they make. Some spend more than they make. They call it survival. They call it normal. But normal is broke. Normal is paycheck to paycheck. Normal is working 40 years only to retire with nothing but tired hands and empty pockets and music. Jim Rohn refused to accept that. He asked a different question. Not how much can I spend, but how much can I keep? That single question changed the direction of his life. Here is the formula. Live on 70% of what you earn. Let the other 30% build your future. Not spend it. Not waste it. Build with it. 10% to give. 10% to save. 10% to invest. That is the hidden formula behind quiet, lasting wealth. It sounds too simple to work. That is exactly why most people never try it. Success is predictable. It's not luck and it's not magic. It's discipline applied consistently over time. The 1% who build real wealth are not smarter than everyone else. They are not luckier. They simply refuse to spend everything that touches their hands. They understand a truth most people never learn. Money you don't manage will always manage you. Think about your paycheck the way a farmer thinks about his harvest. A wise farmer never eats every seed. He knows if he eats everything today, there will be nothing to plant tomorrow. He sets seeds aside first. Only then does he eat from what remains. Your income works the same way. Your 30% is your seed. Spend it all and you have no future harvest. Set it aside first and your future grows without you even noticing. Most people do the opposite. They spend first and save whatever is left over, if anything is left over at all. But there is never anything left over, because spending always expands to match income. Give a person a raise, and their bills quietly rise to meet it. That is why so many high earners are broke. They never learn to pay themselves first. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Become better at protecting your 30% before life convinces you to spend it. Let's break down what that 30% actually means, because this is where the real transformation begins. The first 10% is for giving. This might surprise you. Why give money away when you're trying to build wealth? Because Jim Rohn believed something most people never consider. Money moves toward those who value it, and generosity is one of the deepest signs of value. Giving isn't about religion or obligation. It's about training your mind to believe there is enough, that you are not desperate, that you are a person of abundance, not scarcity. A generous mind attracts opportunity. A fearful mind repels it. The second 10% is for saving, not investing yet, just saving. This is your foundation, your safety net, your peace of mind. This is the fund that means an emergency doesn't become a crisis. A car repair doesn't become a debt spiral. A lost job doesn't become a lost home. Most people live one emergency away from disaster because they never built this cushion. The wealthy sleep peacefully at night, not because they have no problems, but because they have prepared for them. The third 10% is for investing. This is the part that actually builds your future. Savings protect you. Investing grows you. This is the money that works even while you sleep, even while you rest, even while you're doing nothing at all. Stocks, businesses, education, skills, real assets. Money invested wisely compounds, quietly in the background of your life, until one day you look up and realize it has become larger than the income that created it. That is the secret the wealthy understand and the average person never discovers. Your income is temporary. Your assets are permanent. Trade a portion of your income for assets every single month. And over years, those assets eventually replace the need for the income at all. That is what financial freedom actually means. Not having more money. Having money that no longer needs you to keep working for it. Success is predictable. It's not luck and it's not magic. It's the quiet math of consistency. Imagine two people earning the exact same income. One spends everything every month. The other lives on 70% and builds with the rest. After 1 year, the difference seems small. After 10 years, one person owns assets and the other owns regret. Same income, same opportunities, completely different outcomes. The gap wasn't talent. The gap was discipline. Most people believe the size of their income determines their wealth. It doesn't. The size of the gap between what they earn and what they keep determines their wealth. A person earning a modest income who keeps 30% will outbuild a person earning triple that income who keeps nothing. Wealth isn't created by earning. It's created by keeping. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Become better at living below your means while others live beyond theirs. Because lifestyle inflation is the silent killer of financial freedom. Every time your income rises and your spending rises with it, you stay exactly where you started, just with nicer things in the same empty bank account. The 1% raise their income and keep their lifestyle steady. That gap between the two is where wealth is built. Think of your finances like a garden. If you spend every seed you harvest, you will plant nothing, and next season's harvest will be just as small as this one, or smaller. Share music. But if you set aside a portion of every harvest to replant, your garden grows a little larger every single season, until eventually it feeds you without struggle. That is what the 30% does over time. It compounds quietly until it becomes undeniable. Jim Rohn didn't discover this formula in a classroom. He discovered it through failure. Before wealth, he was a young man working hard, but going nowhere. Earning decent money, but keeping none of it. A mentor once asked him a simple, humbling question. Not how much do you make? How much do you keep? Rohn had no answer. That silence was the beginning of his transformation, because that question revealed a truth he had never faced. He wasn't poor because he didn't earn enough. He was poor because he didn't keep enough. That distinction changes everything, because it means financial freedom isn't reserved for the lucky or the high earners. It's available to anyone disciplined enough to apply the formula consistently. The person earning a modest income who commits to keeping 30% will eventually surpass the person earning far more, who keeps nothing at all. Let's talk about why this feels so hard. Because knowing the formula and living the formula are two very different things. Every purchase feels justified in the moment. A meal out, a new gadget, an upgrade you deserve. None of these decisions feel dangerous individually. But wealth isn't destroyed by one large mistake. It's destroyed by thousands of small ones that seem harmless until you look back. The coffee itself was never the problem. The habit of spending without awareness was. The 1% ask a different question before every purchase. Not can I afford this, but does this move me closer to freedom or further from it? That single question, asked consistently, rewires how a person spends for the rest of their life. Most people ask what they want right now. The wealthy ask what they want most, and they protect that future from their present impulses. Discipline is the bridge between a paycheck and a portfolio. Every time you protect your 30%, you take another step across that bridge. Every time you spend it away, you take a step back. The bridge isn't crossed in one dramatic decision. It's crossed one paycheck at a time, one choice at a time, 1 month at a time. Think about compounding the way you'd think about a snowball rolling down a long hill. At the top of the hill, it barely moves the snow at all. But give it time and distance, and that small snowball becomes an avalanche. Your 30% works the same way. In the first year, it feels small and almost pointless. In year 5, it starts to feel real. In year 20, it becomes the difference between working because you have to and working because you want to have music. That is why so many people quit the formula too early. They don't see results in month 1, so they assume it isn't working. But wealth isn't built in dramatic moments. It's built in boring, consistent ones. Shame music. The 1% understand that the results of discipline are invisible for a long time before they suddenly become undeniable. Don't wish it were easier. Wish you were better. Become better at delaying gratification. Become better at saying no to what you want now for what you want most. Because every dollar spent carelessly today is a dollar that will never compound into your future. And every dollar protected today is a seed planted for a harvest you haven't even imagined yet. Let's talk about giving again for a moment, because it's the part people misunderstand the most. Giving isn't just charity. It's a mindset shift. It teaches you that money flows, that it isn't meant to be hoarded out of fear, that abundance is created by circulation, not just accumulation. People who give strategically often build stronger networks, deeper trust, and unexpected opportunities, because generosity signals character, and character attracts opportunity. The wealthy rarely build alone. They build through relationships, and relationships are built through trust, earned over time. Now think about your savings differently too. Savings isn't about fear. It's about freedom to make better decisions. A person with no savings is forced to say yes to any job, any bad deal, any desperate compromise, simply because they have no cushion to fall back on. A person with savings can say no. They can wait for the right opportunity instead of grabbing the first one out of panic. That freedom to choose is worth more than the money itself. And investing, that final 10%, is where patience becomes power. Most people want results immediately. But real wealth is built by those willing to wait years for compounding to do what no job, no side hustle, and no shortcut ever could. The market rewards patience. It punishes impulsiveness. The 1% aren't smarter investors. They are simply more patient ones. Imagine your future self, 10 years from now, looking back at today. If you started the 70-30 rule today, that future version of you inherits savings, investments, and options. If you keep spending everything you earn, that same future version inherits stress, debt, and regret. The version of you that exists 10 years from now is being built right now by the decisions you make with this paycheck, this week, this month. Success is predictable. It's not luck and it's not magic. It's the quiet decision to keep more than you spend, made consistently over years, without needing applause or recognition. Nobody sees the discipline behind wealth. They only see the results years later and call it luck. But you will know the truth. It was never luck. It was the formula, applied without excuses, month after month. So here is the challenge. Starting with your very next paycheck, stop asking how much can I spend. Start asking how much can I keep. Set aside your 10% to give. Set aside your 10% to save. Set aside your 10% to invest. Live fully, intentionally, and gratefully on the remaining 70. It will feel uncomfortable at first. Growth always does. But that discomfort is the exact price of freedom, and it is far smaller than the discomfort of working your entire life with nothing to show for it. Remember this. Wealth was never about the size of your paycheck. It was always about the size of the gap between what you earn and what you keep. Protect that gap. Guard it fiercely. Because every dollar you keep today is a dollar working quietly for your freedom tomorrow. That is Jim Rohn's hidden formula. Simple to understand, rare to practice, and powerful enough applied consistently to change the entire direction of your life. Live like the 1%, not by earning more than everyone else, but by keeping more than everyone else. Not for one paycheck, but for every paycheck, for the rest of your life music. And one day, the freedom you've been chasing will stop being something you're working toward and start being something you're living in. Your future is waiting. Protect your 30% and let it build the life your 70% could never afford on its own.